Hey everyone, good afternoon and almost good evening, at least here on the East Coast. It's Sarah Spiker here, and I'm coming to you with a much different energy today than I did yesterday on the live stream. And if you haven't checked the video yet, I advise you to check it over the next couple of hours before it disappears. And I want to talk to you about what fires you up today. And what inspired me really was an exercise that I'm doing with a group of badass women, kick-ass women in a different, there's a mindset and overcoming different fears group. Hey Kathleen, how are you? So yesterday was kind of a day, right, on many levels, but that was really needed. It was exactly what I needed to kind of reach the point when I was like, I am not playing this game anymore. It's time for something bigger, something better, something that gets me closer to my goals. So today I was thinking, as I'm working through my projects, I was like, what about the audience? I know some of you, Kathleen, I know you're on fire. You are just about to get to the next level at basketball. Oh, awesome. Fingers crossed for your daughter, right? It's playing. I'll keep my fingers crossed. What is that fires us up? And are we able to communicate it in our marketing messaging and how we talk to our clients and what we stand for? And I was looking at a couple of videos just from me and a couple of, yes, have fun. A couple of videos from me and content that was shared. And it's really, if you take a look into what you're sharing, you're really like an open book. For people who really follow you closely, they're able to read exactly what's going on in your life and exactly what are you struggling with, even if you try to disguise it as a solution. And hey, pup, it's okay. Somebody's turning the car at the end of the road, so he has to bark at them. And I was reading through mine, and it's so evident, this whole process over past 2 years when I left my old business and started to build a new one, and obstacles and victories and ups and downs and go arounds. Every single thing is really evident in how I portray the industry, how I talk about my services, how I talk about my clients, how I show up in what energy. Of course, not every day is going to be when we are all, fired up. But on the days when we're not, and on the days when we start drowning in overwhelm, think about what is it fires you up. For a long time, what I found for myself was that I thought that because my clients are getting amazing results when it comes to multiplying the revenues, this is really what I should lead with. And I should talk about profits and I should talk about money and all sorts financial things, right? But I'm starting to realize now that I'm working through my fears and my patterns and subconscious beliefs and belief systems that I have so many money stories that still need to be worked out from my childhood and different experiences in my life that I kind of find it as a security blanket. I kind of find it as a shield to present myself as somebody super serious, while on the inside, the reason why I struggled with showing up as, energized as right now, because there was that disconnect between what is that my clients are getting, what is my reality, and what really fires me up. So what I was thinking about this morning is like, what is that I really want? Is it really the BMW for my husband? Is it really flying first class, right, when we go somewhere to have more legroom? Is it really getting a new kitchen? Is it really whatever it is? And I was like, no, it's not. Is it really getting the $10,000 check for a VIP day with a client? Is that gonna stroke my ego, or does it really deliver the service and the value to the client worth of $10,000? And I had to dig really, really deep. And I was like, yeah, it definitely does deliver that for them. But for me, it provides me with tools that I need and I want in order to cultivate experiences that fire me up. So those experiences are purchasing my childhood home from Europe and run retreats there, so more women can be impacted on a much more deeper level, and men, go through a whole business transformation in an environment that is not something tropical, that is not something exotic like Hawaii and Bali and all sorts of retreats that you're used to seeing, but something much more grounded, something with much more deeper and older history, so to speak, and it's my home. So this is one of my burning desires. Another burning desire for me is purchasing my husband's family estate in Pennsylvania. He grew up there, and every single time we go to visit, his energy changes. He becomes a different person. And just seeing him there, I was like, screw the new kitchen, screw BMW. This is what I want to do. And again, creating that home into a place where we can run retreats and host events and host workshops and stuff like that for entrepreneurs as well. And lastly, and mostly the most important thing for me is, even though right now I can't really wrap my mind around how I would pull that off, but I envision myself homeschooling my kids and traveling the world, giving them the experiences that no classroom can ever give them. Experiences in different, oh, thank you, Kathleen, different cultures, different monuments, different vegetation, different wildlife, and really getting that first-hand experience and living through that, as opposed to just learning about it or watching on TV. Now, when it comes to homeschooling, like I said, I'm caring for them right now as is, and I can't imagine doing the homeschooling on top of it. But I'm not going to obsess about the how right now, because I've learned, and I'm still learning about letting that go and just focusing on the big thing and what can you do, and then let everything else fall into place. As much as I'd like to micromanage, it doesn't always work that way. So when I was working through all of that, I was like, wow, that really is much deeper. And I'm not saying that you have to have aspiration like this and that you have to long towards purchasing two homes or take the trip around the world or whatever it is. If it's money that drives you, honor that. There's nothing shallow about it. There's nothing materialistic about it. That's what drives you. If you're driven by specific experiences, focus on that. If you're driven by a specific state of mind that you want to operate from, go from there. I know there are people who run on adrenaline and there are people who crumble under the pressure. So you have to know what excites you, what drives you, what motivates you, and what's going to help you get out of the bed in the morning, even when it's raining and it's not all rainbows and glitters and unicorns flying around. Even when it's hard, even when things seemingly crumble right in front of you, when nothing goes your way, when you have 7 people say, yes, we're going to work together, and then they turn around and say no, and all of a sudden your business is out of $40,000 overnight. It's in those moments that really shape your character. It really shapes you as an entrepreneur. It shapes you as a person, because you always get to choose how you're going to react to that, and you always get to learn on, if you dissect and if you identify what are the things that were leading up to those circumstances, you're now able to course correct moving forward. But it all starts with the, what is it fires you up. Now, on Friday, a friend of mine, Ashley, and friends, Ashley and Bruce, actually, they have this Facebook show. It's called Unstoppable. They are brilliant marketers. They're brilliant entrepreneurs. They've built multi-7-figure businesses multiple times for multiple entrepreneurs and themselves. But they've also been down in trenches of nearly filing for bankruptcy, losing the homes, pretty much the typical story of a successful entrepreneur. But they'll be hosting a show that's going to be talking about the why, not the how, not the what, but the why that really leads us. So I'm excited about it because it feels like it's in alignment with exactly the process that I'm going through personally right now. And I've been through that as an athlete many times. I've been through it as a student many times. I've been through it when I was working jobs. There was always at moments like, what the hell am I doing? And then, it's a tool to get me to the next level. So I'd like to invite you to kind of consider that from that perspective and see how that serves you, how it allows you to step up to the next level and get to the next point in your life and in business, and really become much clearer on I get a message. So get much clearer on, what is that you identify with, and then go back to your marketing, go back to your messaging, go back to how you position yourself, how you communicate it. I've said it so many times. What you're putting out there is a reflect. People who come to you are a reflection of what is that you're putting out there. So I finally figured out what some of the disconnects were in my marketing and in my business. So I'll spend the next couple of days tweaking those and working with my consultants and coaches to really make sure that we nail it. Because the thing is, when you work with a coach, when you work with a consultant, there's certain things that they can tell you far in advance. There are certain things you just have to come up to your own conclusions. And the funny thing is, sometimes I reach to my own consultant. It's like, hey, I just figured it out. And he's like, oh, look at that. Isn't that interesting? Only exactly 5 months after I told you that, right? It took you only 5 months to get to that conclusion on your own. But it's different because you're building on different experiences. You're building on different platform. You're open to different things. So without taking it too long, those are a couple of things that really crystallized today, and I felt compelled to share them with you because I know some of you are still in that in the place where you want to get out and are not quite sure which doors to open and which doors to close and which bridges literally to burn. So I hope this gives you a little bit more clarity and helps you take the next action. So thanks for joining me, and have a fantastic evening. Bye.